Yep, it's episode 6, Aussie Mac Zone. How you doing? It's 23rd of July, 2013, another Tuesday night, live, in front of a virtual live audience, that is. And you can be part of the virtual live audience at aussietechheads.com.au/live. So welcome zoners. Tonight's episode is brought to you by the hosting of Aussie Tech Heads, aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. And those on video, look, I've got a little card here that someone's done up for me. There we go. How does that look? All right, so if you want fast, professional, affordable Sydney servers, fully managed, you just get in there and you can chomp away at installing WordPress or Joomla, Drupal, or anything that takes your fancy. And you can put that in and install it probably 3 clicks. It's easy. So go and have a look at some plans from $5.95 a month. They're great. And also, sponsor of the show is ithelpforyou.com.au, and we'll hear more from ithelpforyou.com.au later in the show as they bring us the listener question of the week. And it's another beauty too, all the way from Melbourne, I believe. So we'll get to that and we'll see how we go. All right. Don't forget you can follow us on the Facebook at facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads or on YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads if you're interested in the video. The video each week will be up on iTunes and YouTube. So jump into both of those mediums and see what you can do. All right, don't forget, you can leave a review on the iTunes podcast, the video or audio, and a lucky person each week will win a $20 iTunes card, and that is thanks to ithelpforyou.com.au. Good stuff. All right, I think it's time we get into it. So we're going to introduce the hosts, and they're here as usual. I'll just introduce them all at once, and then you can pick their voices out. We've got Jason, Warlock, and Garth. Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Good.
Very well. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right. Now, we'll start off with Jason. What's been happening with you, Jace? Anything exciting over the last week?
Not really over the last week. It's been fairly cold and wet here, so a bit of indoors weather and a bit of quality time with the Mac, I guess.
Oh, that's good. Beautiful. And how about you, Warlock? What have you been up to? Anything exciting? Just keeping it real?
No, just having some warm days and then cold days. It changes all the time. You never know what's going to happen.
No, that's right. Well, it's been a nice day up here, but it's pretty cold tonight, Garth. How are you going?
It is a little chilly tonight, Glenn. A little chilly this morning.
It is, isn't it?
Got on the bus yesterday morning and the air conditioning was broken, so we had the freezing air conditioner stuck on a winter's morning. It was great.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get straight into some news, eh? We're sticking to a timeline, so we're getting into some news now. Apple, they've been hacked. Jason, what's going on there? They've been hacked and something's been brought down.
Well, I guess probably the biggest news for this week, and over the last couple of days, more's come out around this story around the developer website having a security breach. And I guess earlier today, Australian time, further details came out around that, where independent security researcher Ibrahim Balak speculated that he may be responsible for the security breach that caused an extended outage of Apple's developer center. So I believe last Thursday, the website was breached. At the time, Apple was saying by unknown hackers, and they took that offline as a precaution. And those of you who have developer accounts would have received an email to that effect from Apple. Today, Balak came out claiming that he was doing some independent security researching, and in doing that, he found some, I think, cross-site scripting issues in the Apple website, and in exploring them further, brought that to Apple's attention, I guess.
He found 2 different flaws. The cross-site was a different one to the one that their main concern.
Yeah, and I think he posted up on YouTube as well, which has since been removed, because as well as, I guess, showing the hack, it actually did display some names and email addresses, presumably of developers. Apple is saying that I think it's possible that names and email addresses could have been, or obviously were disclosed, but it wasn't other information, and they're saying at this stage, it's not iTunes, so it's not, I guess, general population, it's not credit card numbers, it's not things like that. That's what Apple are saying at the moment. So I guess as the next few days roll by, we will find out more.
So it's been a bit of a while. It's been offline since last Thursday. So that's a long time. So has this stopped everyone from being able to access the developing center? I guess it has.
Yeah, you can't log into it anymore. They launched a new product called iWorkbench, which was to allow easier creating of ads for the platform. People wanted to create advertisements and then they could better target it. Unfortunately, the guy typed in a slightly different URL and he wanted to try it out, and it said add user to this account. So he typed in just general names like John, and then it would suggest anybody who's John on the account that he could add to it. But unfortunately, it also had not people on his account, but people who'd registered with Apple IDs, not just dev ones either. And it would come up with a list of all the Johns and their email addresses and contact details. So he lodged that as a bug with Apple. And he said there was I think it was The Verge said that one of their editor guys was one of the names that had come up when he tried John, so they confirmed that it was definitely his Apple ID that had been shown.
That's not good.
No, that's not good at all. Yeah, so did you there's apparently a YouTube video that was up and it was just taken down. You didn't see that, did you, Warlock?
No, I didn't get a chance to catch that before they'd taken it down. But yeah, the problem I have with people who are security experts is that once they hack into things, they're quite happily to release the details of personal information of people. You hear people, I hacked, say Amazon, for example, and then they would get all the details, and then they're like, well, here's a proof that I did it. Here's, 20,000 email addresses, home details, credit card numbers, just to prove that I did it. And I don't really agree with that's the right way of going.
And it certainly is illegal. You can't claim as defense, I was doing it for research purposes or to prove the hacks. So
if you put it up there and blank out the details just to prove that you did get some details, if it just had like John something and all of this, then sure, but don't release people's actual details. Come on, that's not just security, that's just wrong.
That is wrong, but I think in a lot of situations they've, and I'm not suggesting this for this case, the people do go to the manufacturer or the person in, the company in question and say, hey, this is the flaw we've found. You've got a month to fix it or we're going to release stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a line there somewhere, and maybe this time it's that side of the line, but I think on the other side of the story is you do need people like that looking for this stuff and saying, hey, this is something that needs to be fixed. You know what I mean?
If he doesn't release all those details, I don't think you could prosecute him because he's helping out. He does file it with them. He's filed 13 security flaws that he's found in the Apple developer site so far, so he's actually helping them out. But they actually need to act on it as soon as possible, and also he needs to not release details.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the main impact from this hack, there's going to be there's two main impacts, isn't there? There's the one to Apple's reputation, which I don't think will be insubstantial, if there's not too many negatives in that sentence. And also, developers can't release new apps at the moment, can they? That's I think
no, they can't log into the site or do anything at all with their accounts. It just says we'll be back soon. It's been saying that for quite a while.
So they can release updates to apps through another portal or something like that, but they can't actually.
Most of them can't even
planning to launch a new app. They can't do that at the moment.
There's very few accounts where people get the assets for their games from their own servers or from Amazon servers where they store it. Most people have just got it on the Apple site and they update it through the Apple dev site. And if you can't log in there, then you're stuffed.
Okay, so they can't even. So most can't even do updates.
No, can't do anything whatsoever.
Nasty. All right. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break. We've got to fix something up with the live stream. So we'll be back before you can say Jack Robinson. Hold it there. All Oh, we're back. That wasn't long at all, was it? All right, but while we were away, we actually found someone. We found Eric, Eric Franco hasn't been on the show before, but you might know him from Aussie Tech Heads each week. But so let's say hello to Eric. Hello, Eric. How you going? And he's got no audio.
Now he's muted himself.
Sorry. Here we go.
There we go.
Command Shift A, Eric.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, Eric?
My first
Hey,
time,
Eric.
so go easy on me.
Oh, we always
No
will.
chance, mate. No chance.
All right. So how you been, Eric? What's been going on with you?
Oh, not much, settling in after a holiday that didn't want to end, but pretty busy. It's good.
Now, just for
complaints.
the listeners of the show, what sort of Mac setup have you got? I'll just run through what you're doing down there.
To my left, I'm watching the stream on an iMac 2011.
Yep.
And that's 4 gig of RAM. It's only a lightweight one. That's got all my pictures and iMovies on there, and it gets backed up on Backblaze, so that's cool.
Yep.
And on my right, I have a MacBook Pro, 2012.
Right.
Yes, i7, 15-inch.
Nice.
And attached to that is 2 iPhones and an iPad.
Right. Nice. So you're pretty much Appled out in your place. Your mobiles are Apple and iPads and
My mobile's Apple. Yes. My wife's got a MacBook Air.
Right.
My oldest daughter's got my old MacBook Pro.
Yep.
And all the kids have got iPhones and iPads.
Nice. Good stuff. Now, what you've missed so far, because you joined us a little bit into the show, we've just been talking about the hacking of the the Dev Center, Apple Dev Center. Were you aware of this? Have you got any comments on that before we move off that?
I did get an email during the week about it, but I haven't tried to log in there for a while anyway, because with the Mavericks, it just sends you an email and says, there's a seed upgrade ready. You don't have to actually log in and get it. You just log into your Mavericks installation, and it's there on the updates. So I've never found a reason to go in there.
Okay.
You want to know what's some bad timing? One of my friends said to me on Twitter on Friday morning, "Hey, I want to try out iOS 7, but I need to be added on a developer account. Can you add me on there?" And he's been waiting ever since.
Oh yeah, I don't like doing that. I can add, I think, 100 devices to my dev account, but selling for $50 each. That's it's not bad.
It's the worst timing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's move on and let's get on to some rumours. Why not? There's rumours every week, and I like how the newspapers or the blogs, they get away with a sensational headline, and it's okay because then they just put a little question mark at the end. Like one of these headlines is, say, for a story here, as low cost iPhone and iPad 5 to ship in early September, blah blah blah, question mark. That's only a question. It's a rumor.
Yeah, that's not really a story, is it?
No, it's a rumor. But we've got
That's right. What they write when they haven't got anything to write.
That's right. But we're going to kick it off with the Apple testing screens for larger iPhone and a 13-inch iPad. Waller, what do you know about that? Anything?
Well, we all know that Apple has got just about every screen size in existence, probably from like 2 inches up to 50 inches, and they try out all the different devices and the different sizes just to see what they like and what they think is a viable one to use. And so I believe they would be testing different sizes. I don't know if they would be releasing all of them, but they definitely have development versions of just about every size, probably as many as Samsung have got for their devices, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're going to see them anytime soon is anybody's guess. So that one gets another question mark at the end.
So probably in Johnny's secret lab, along with the Apple TV.
Yeah, that's right. But just this is how you work out whether or not they're going to do this. If there's suddenly a report of a shortage of glass at a certain size from a certain factory, Apple's bought it all. Because that's what they usually do.
Yes. Look, it works for me, I've got to say. I've seen a few of these new Samsung devices getting around, and the screens, you would think, without seeing them, you think they're going to be too big. But when you see them...
Really big.
They are big.
Really big.
They're probably not something you'd really want to put in your back pocket.
No.
And would they fit in a pocket at all, really, like a shirt pocket or a jacket pocket? But
not unless you're a giant.
Yeah.
My GS4 fits better in my pocket than my iPhone 4.
Right.
I
How
can fit
big is it?
my 7-inch tablet in my back pocket.
It's
sit down?
the thinness. Even though it's a huge screen, it's right to the edge. It's not that much bigger in left, in height and width. And
So
it's thinner and
snug fit.
it's a snug fit. And that's actually a bit of a problem on that device. You can't help but pick it up and be activating things on the screen half the time. Because the screen and the sensitivity is right to that edge of that screen, right to the edge of the device.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't got that, you haven't got that sort of
The bezel, the end, the
the
whole
bezel
thing.
around the edge. Yeah.
Look, by the time
One of the reasons why I went with the HTC One, because it's that much smaller than the S4, and it just seemed to be a bit better feel.
Yeah.
by the time next September
But it can
comes
get a bit
around,
ridiculous. I mean, when they're talking about the screen sizes, like for a phone, they're saying, up to 5.7 inches. I mean, soon they're going to have an iPhone that's got a screen larger than the iPad mini. So it'll be a bit strange when that crosses over. Here's an iPad mini. It's getting smaller. The iPhone's getting larger.
I tried
Samsung,
the
when I was away,
Galaxy Note.
those Galaxy Notes or whatever they are. They're nearly as big as the iPad, and people are using it with the headphones and the mics because you can't hold it up to your face.
Yeah, look like an
Well,
idiot.
look, I have a headphone and a mic plugged into my iPhone/iPad the whole time anyway. I'd be stoked if there was a phone app if I could put the phone app on my iPad mini. Absolutely stoked. Be perfect.
Really?
I use Skype for
Yep,
most of that.
yep.
Phone for that?
I use
out.
Skype. I always have a headset plugged in there anyway. I don't think I've probably answered my phone directly on the phone twice in its entire existence. I always just press the button on the headset and that's it.
I sent it to voicemail.
but you've always got your headset in though, Garth, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that's it. The way I use those devices, any of them, is with a headset in. So for me, it's no big deal that it's a big device, small device. I don't care. And I love the interface of the iPad more than the iPhone. So yeah, put the phone app on the iPad. I'd be pleased as punch.
If I'm by
I'll
myself,
put a request in and see how we go.
if I'm by myself, I'll just put it on loudspeaker, and I prefer to use it loud. It's good quality, Telstra to Telstra, perfect. And what do we think of the low cost iPhone and iPad 5 shipping early September? Question mark.
I don't think the low cost is going to happen.
There's a lot
Lower,
of photos of cases.
No, it's happening.
No,
yeah,
I reckon.
but
A lot of photos
money
of cases
on the
already
table.
released.
Come on.
Lots of
Money on
different
the table.
colours.
Yep.
Anyone? Money
Okay.
on the table.
Well,
How
yeah.
much? How much?
$10
No, it's
bucks.
going to happen.
$10. All
Let's-
right. $10
let's go-
that
let's-
they're not going to bring one out.
Ever or
So what are we
talking-
going to see? What are we going to see released at the end of this year?
Well, it won't be the end. It'll be September.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The second,
Oh,
the-
okay,
the-
in a few months. Okay.
September,
I reckon-
October, late
You'll get
September,
the
early
upgraded-
October.
Yeah, something like that. It'll probably be
5S?
released on September sometime in that that iPad, but then available in October. That's what I'm guessing.
Yep,
I'm the upgraded iPhone 5. I'm guessing would be
of course. Yep.
with there. I think that's a no-brainer. With a larger hard drive, I think they're going to go 128 gigabytes on this one. Would be their biggest one. But
iPad
no
Mini Retina?
i5 Mini Retina. No.
Nope. Yep.
Nope.
Yeah,
But
no,
again, I think they'll bring those out with bigger hard drives, and no cheap iPhone 4.
Okay, Glenn.
And they will release. I think then they'll probably release Mavericks as available now from iTunes.
Yeah.
yeah, me. Well, I think that
Oh, and iOS 7. Sorry, and the new operating system will be released as well.
yeah,
That's a given, I reckon. Let's go with that one. That's a given.
yeah, iOS 7. Yeah, that's going to get released. I think a cheaper iPhone, possibly. I think that could be on the cards. Maybe the twist
No,
is.
you got to say yes or no. You can't
Yes
say
or
maybe.
no?
Well, can I have
There's
it with
no
a
maybe.
twist? Yes, but with a
Is your
twist.
$10
You
on the
can't
line?
go $5 each way.
Well, no.
Yes or no?
Well, I'll go with a twist, and I'll say that it won't be available in the normal markets. It'll only be for the lower
Third world.
socio-economic
Okay,
Third world.
markets. How's that one? Does that ring your bell?
Emerging markets, let's say.
emerging markets. I think that it won't be available at all to anybody.
Right.
Yep.
Jace?
I'll go with the small ones. I'd be interested to see iPad Mini Retina and iPhone 5S and, of course, Mavericks and iOS 7.
And
Okay.
the other Jace?
Yeah, look, I think new iPad 5. I don't think an iPad Mini Retina yet. I just don't think the technology is there to bring it down to the right price.
Yeah, the battery.
And the battery, yeah, as well for the size. Yeah, to drive that, absolutely.
It's a very small space to put a very large battery.
Yeah. Look, I do think a low-cost iPhone, only for the reason that they can use the same screen size as what they do for the iPhone 5 to get some consistency there, and drop the 4 and 4S models as their cheaper model. So that's my reason for why they would go to a low-cost iPhone in order to get consistency in screen size.
Well, it doesn't
completely agree with you, Jason. That's a good bet. Yep, completely agree. No iPad Mini with Retina. There will be a lower cost iPhone, Mavericks, iOS, all that stuff as given. 5S. And
what about an upgrade for some of the MacBooks? Any guesses there? MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I think some of the Mac Pros that haven't already got the upgraded chipset will get them. MacBook Pros, I should say. Haswell chipsets, yep. So they'll get those. That won't be a huge release. That'll just be, shoehorned into the rest of it.
I'm hoping MacBook Air 15-inch. But really,
no, I don't know. I don't think so. Well, then you're talking about Retina territory. You're talking about Retina territory,
though, but non-Retina, just a standard MacBook Air.
Look, I'd love that, yeah. But I'd love a machine that had the power of a Retina without the Retina.
Plus, aren't they releasing the? Doesn't the Mac Pro come out at the same time too? Because they already talked about that, didn't they?
Yeah,
that's the end of the year.
They never said when it's going to be available.
That's
there's no date yet. That'll all come out in some big announcement, yeah.
Now, what about iTunes Radio?
Actually, on that, and I don't know if this is in the show notes. Well, it's not going to be, but any of you guys with Android devices will have noticed that Australia has now got the All Access, Google All Access Play or whatever it's called.
Right.
And the relevance being to Apple being that if Google have managed to make that deal in this market, and I think that bodes well for Apple having a fairly early release for iRadio here in Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously they announced it first in the US, and there's no dates on when it's going to be available here. And if indeed it would be available when iOS 7 comes out here. But I think, if Google have made that deal, I think Apple will as well. So I think the Australian market
might be right about that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give it a shot.
Couple of quick ones. 1 billion podcast subscriptions. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? According to podcast section of the iTunes Store, Apple has just hit a milestone of 1 billion podcast subscriptions. So there you go. How would they know how many subscriptions they've got, though? That is my question.
Would that be based on individual, like subscribe, like individual people subscribe? Is that how they do it?
It must be.
Yeah.
It must be through the...
They'd have to be able to track that, yeah.
Yeah.
What if I've subscribed on 5 different computers to the same podcast?
Yes, well, that's probably the anomaly. Maybe it's only 200,000 or 200 million.
Probably.
But it depends if they use the iTunes account. But I guess that's going to be through iTunes, isn't it? Because if you just pulled it from the RSS feed, Apple would have no knowledge of that.
That's right.
No, it's from iTunes, yeah. It's through iTunes. Look, in any case, no matter how you cut that number, it's a big one.
That's true. You can divide it by 4, it's still a big number.
Yeah, so the podcast originally introduced in 2005. So that's a fair while ago. I remember Aussie Tech Head starting in 2006, so we weren't too far off the mark there, were we? So that's good. In honour of the...
contributed well.
Yes.
You jumped on it, Glenn. You jumped on it.
I jumped on it. I've jumped on it. I haven't let it go. In honour of the 1 billion milestone, Apple has highlighted a number of its most popular podcasts over the years in a new iTunes section, which offers up a number of classic podcasts along the new and noteworthy content. So we'll have to go and look at iTunes later on and see who's in there. Probably filled with twits. Okay, and I mean that as in the Twit network. Now, Apple's quarter 3 2013 earnings call tomorrow. What is this going to bring us? Eric, have you got any idea what that's going to bring us?
No idea. I think it'll be flat. I think it'll be the same as probably higher than same time last year, but flat against last quarter. That's what I'm guessing.
Warlock, do you have any comments, things with that one?
No, I think it's going to be down a bit, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I think their next big quarter is going to be the one after, because by then they've released all these things that we were talking about 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think that will be their bumper.
And finally, because we're running out of time, we'll just do this one pretty quickly. There's apparently a man views porn on Safari and filing for a lawsuit against Apple. So
He's an idiot.
Yeah, Warlock, who hasn't had a
You should
go?
be congratulating them.
Did you want to grab that one, Warlock? Have you seen that one?
No, I saw it mentioned, yeah.
It was by accident. He went to go to facebook.com and typed fbook.com.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And went to an
jeez.
adult site. But he alleges Apple's porn offering led to unfair competition between his wife and porn stars, which ultimately caused a deteriorating relationship.
No.
So,
Yeah.
No.
What a joke.
What
Goodness
does he
sake,
mean
just-
by Apple's
no.
porn offering? What does he mean by Apple's porn offering?
Safari, it's a porn engine.
Yeah, obviously.
If you read further into the
No,
story,
that story's over. That's
think-
ridiculous. Move on.
there was a 50-page
You're
document
just
he
jealous.
lost. So, yeah, look, I think he was just using it to get across maybe his views as to,
He just wanted some money, wanted some cash.
well,
think he's-
yeah, maybe for
I
a bit of
think he's-
notoriety as well.
Yeah.
Well, I
I wanted
think
to
he's a
explain to
mental
the wife
defective.
why he happened to be going to one of those sites, and he normally doesn't go there.
Yeah,
but
that's
So that's
Safari
probably what it is. I think
Well,
Warlock's
that's
found the
me.
answer.
Fault.
there. Yeah, that's
But
what
we're
it is.
moving to England because something that we don't have as a news story because it's not Mac related, but they're putting in mandatory porn filter for the whole country.
So we'll do
Yeah, I
that.
saw that today.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's not going to work.
yeah.
I heard that too. That's not going to work.
Suddenly, the popularity of VPNs went through the roof.
as they would. Now, all right, so it's time for our listener question. And each week we go through the emails that we get and pull out one that we think would be beneficial to the wider audience. And we're going to answer it. And this week, it's Greg from Melbourne. And the question every week is brought to you by ithelpforyou.com.au. So that's ithelp4u.com.au. Down there in Penrith, doing some great stuff down there, fixing Apple gear, selling Apple gear, and just loving it all around. So ithelpforyou.com.au. Go down there if you're around Penrith way, and jump in there and say good day to them and take your broken device in. Or we shouldn't say it's a broken device. It's your device that you might need upgraded or you might need help with, how to network around the office or your home or something like that. But anyway, go and chat to them. But Greg from Melbourne, he's got a problem. Jason, what's Greg's problem?
Well, I don't know. I can tell you about his Mac problem, though. We should speak nicely about our listeners there, Glenn.
Well, we hope to fix problems.
So Glenn's a fan. Glenn's probably a fan too, but Greg's a fan of using Safari for dictation on his iPhone, especially when sending SMSs, so he doesn't have to type in anymore. And he'd love to do the same thing on his Mac, but it doesn't run iOS and it doesn't have Siri. So he wants to know if he can do something similar on his Mac. And the answer is not with Siri. That may be coming someday, and rumours have certainly been about that, along with everything else.
Yes.
But there is something you can do in OS 10 that does allow you to use the dictation function on your Mac.
Oh, nice.
So if you go into an application such as TextEdit and you go to the Edit menu, if you go right down to the bottom of that menu, you'll find a function called Start Dictation. And as the name would imply, that will then let you use your microphone and you can dictate as you would on your iPhone, and it will appear in this case TextEdit, but it will also work on other applications like
Nice.
Pages, etc. So, if you don't feel like typing, you can sit back and speak to your Mac, but it, unlike Siri, won't speak back to you.
Now, is this something that you've used, Jason?
I haven't used it on the Mac. I've only had a play with Siri on the iPhone, and look, I find that works reasonably well for if you've got a short text message or something to send, especially when you're trying to do hands-free, such as you're driving or whatever. It can be helpful. And
awful.
Probably no worse than autocorrect when you are actually trying to type.
Yeah, look, I found
You do want to check the message before you send it, though.
Yeah, but on the Mac,
Right.
that text, the text dictation. Has anyone used that? And how good is that? Is that pretty correct?
Just checking the text now.
I never tried it out. And also, if you want a shortcut way to do it, just double tap the function key and it'll start the dictation off as well.
Oh, there you go. Sweet. Oh, yeah. Function
And I
function.
just tried it right then. It worked beautifully. So yeah, double tap of the FN key.
Yeah, nice.
And that'll start dictation. The first time you do it, it'll give you a warning message saying, hey, do you want to assign this to create dictation? So yeah, double tap the FN key. And when you finish talking, hit it again and you're done.
All right.
It
Now,
helps the NSA out as well, because that way they can capture everything that you're doing easier than having to take it off your Mac. They can
Exactly.
just listen to what you're saying and
that's right.
know what we're doing here in Australia.
Yeah, because
At least on the
wins
Mac,
its way over
the
too.
dictation engine would probably work just locally on the Mac, whereas with the iPhone, because the processor's not that good, it sends the data to Apple's servers where they work out what it is you said and then send back the text to Siri.
They
so
have
can
trained
work
monkeys
on it.
typing there, Warlock.
They do.
Well, Google
100
used to-
monkeys with 100 typewriters.
Google used to have-
Somehow Google's processors on board the Android devices are fine to be able to do that. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with the processor and in the iOS devices to do that function. It's a choice they've made.
sometimes I notice.
and I think
Sometimes I notice that the Siri gets a bit delayed because it has to talk back to Apple, and sometimes not often, I just look at it going, did that work? And then I push it to start again, and all of a sudden it comes back, and you go, oh, well, just
If they
delete
go
it.
through the central servers, they can get a lot of training on the servers so that it can understand things, it can learn new words, and they can
New
correct
words,
any
yeah.
problems
But if there's a
immediately
new
on the
monkey-
server. But if you have to update your Google application every time to understand new things, then that's a little bit of a negative there, because the Apple ones can be updated on the fly constantly on the servers.
And does Safari, can you talk to Google with either through Safari or through Chrome on the Apple? Does anyone know?
Oh, and Chrome's got built in to every Chrome application. There's a little microphone in the search page.
Yes,
you can
that's what
just
I
click
meant.
on that and talk to it.
Yep.
But there's a reason places like IBM and companies like that refuse any of their staff to use Siri, because if you're sitting on there and talking to it, company secrets going to Apple servers, they don't want that. So they block anything to do with Siri on their devices.
Apple wouldn't listen in, would they? No. All right. Now,
To us.
all right, we're up to tips of the week. Now, look, I've got a tip that was held over from last week, and my tip or my app or my application, whatever you want, software, is Motion 5. Now, you might not know what Motion 5 is. Maybe if I said After Effects, would you know what that is? Well, it's similar. It's the Apple's, we wouldn't call it a layman version, but you know what I mean. The Apple's version, low-end version of After Effects. And Jason, you've been using After Effects, and you've talked me into looking at into Motion. I mean, you use Motion 5, and I'm going to probably buy the Motion 5 as well. All the titles that you see on Aussie Mac Zone and all across the network, they're all done through the Motion 5. And for starters, the reason why I like it so much is because it is powerful enough for what I want to use it for, and it's only $51, $51.99. If you go to After Effects, which is a lot more powerful, and probably you won't need all the power that it actually has under the hood, but you can't buy that off the shelf now. You got to subscribe to it, which is like $60 a month. So yeah, Motion 5, bring it on. Yeah, bring it on.
Really,
Is that Adobe? Is that Adobe?
Not
Yeah.
the Motion 5.
No, the other
No,
one.
no, After Effects.
yeah.
Adobe have done that with all their stuff now. Well, certainly their pro stuff that you're going to a monthly fee. So, yeah, I mean, $50 for Motion 5, and it used to be a lot more. The same as Final Cut. Apple really with their pro apps of
Come
they're
down a
delivering. I mean, it is pro quality stuff,
bit. Yeah,
and
agree.
and Logic. There was a release of that during the week as
Logic
well.
Pro, look, I'm seriously thinking about getting that.
And I think that's around $200. But gee, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just that does
But
everything.
that's $1,000. That's $1,000 software. Really?
Yeah, it was. And I guess, Logic Pro is probably, if you know GarageBand, it's GarageBand on steroids. It's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the professional.
With a lot more that you can loops and special effects and
Yeah, that all comes with it. It's
soundboards,
great.
the whole lot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Motion 5, it looks great because all you do, if it's not a great big learning curve. You can go to certain sites out there on the web. You just download a template, and basically it's as basic as they'll have on their template. You put your text here, and you just scrub that out and write your text in there, and then you render it, and you've got it. You've got what you want with your text in there. It's brilliant. It's pretty much the same as After Effects for what I want to use it for. What we want to use it for here, just some basic little things. It's 2D and 3D compositing for visual effects. So check it out in the Mac App Store, Motion 5, if you're into that sort of stuff, or you've got a podcast, or you've got something going, or a little video, you want to make some intros and outros for a wedding video, anything. You can put lower thirds on your wedding video. Really surprise the bride. Give her a big thrill in post-production.
Depends what sort of video you're editing there, boy.
That's right. All right, Motion 5. Yeah, get on it. Now, Jason, you've got a nice little app there that you want to talk about.
Continuing on from the headphone theme from last week for my pick, I was looking at the Odyssey music player, and what it does is, if you have maybe using the Apple earbuds or particular set of headphones, it will actually give you the ability to tune the headphones. You can give it information around the make and the model, and it will tune the output from the iPhone to suit those headphones to get better, I guess, sound quality out of there. And I've given it a quick try. It's currently free in the App Store, and on the show notes here, it's maybe only for a little while. So if you do want to try it out, probably jump in and get that one in the next few days.
Sorry, Jace, keep going.
I was just saying, probably the only negative is that whilst it can, I guess, tune for your headphones and make them sound better, you do have to use it as your music player. So you can't use that to then play something through the podcast app or the iTunes, the Apple Music app. You do have to use the Odyssey music player. So that's maybe a slight negative, as that's not going to be your player of choice.
Now, it does have access to all the podcast app and all that sort of stuff, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can access your
well, as long as you can access
your library.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, does it give you any advantage, do you know, just over the normal Apple earbud things, headphones?
It makes them sound different. It probably tunes them a little bit better, but I guess it's really a matter of taste. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, if you've got $10 headphones, you can't expect too much out of them. But I guess you can get the most out of the headphones you do have, so it does work well from that respect. They've obviously done some work in that space.
Now, that was the Odyssey music player. I think that's how you pronounce it, AUDYSSEY. Now, that was actually a free app of the day on our Facebook site. So you got to keep your eyes open, don't you? Subscribe, like our Facebook site. There will be a free iOS app every single day. Normally that you have to pay for, but on every day there'll be one that's gone now free for that day. So jump on the Facebook, Facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and grab one of those apps of the day. They're great. Just download them every day. Who cares? All right, and Warlock, Subway Surfers. What have you been into?
Yeah.
Hey? That looks all
This
right.
is an endless, fun 3D endless runner game. It's free to download. Of course, you can spend money if you want to, but you never have to. And my daughter got me onto it. She really loves it. And you've got this kid on there that you can see on the screen, and he's graffitiing the subway. And when you start the game, the policeman, you can also see their chasers after him. So you have to dodge the trains coming down the track, pick up the coins, get all the bonuses. They have daily challenges. They've got missions and things, and
nice.
Leveling up. You can get a jetpack that'll fly you over the top of the lines to boost you ahead and pick up more coins, and special boots, and a jet board that you can fly around on. So a lot of really cool fun there. And you can also log into Facebook and then you can compete against other people. So my daughter and I are trying to get the highest scores and beat each other out all the time.
Do you think that those games or the leaderboards are rigged? Because you look at some of the leaderboards on some of the games, you think, how the hell can you get like 27 billion points? And things like that.
I think some of them can be, but these ones are just against you and your friends. So I think my highest score is like 42,000, but one of my friends who I do know, I don't think he'd know how to rig it, is up to like 1.2 million. So I think he just plays it a real lot.
I was going to say, I think some people have just got too much spare time on their hands.
Yes.
I've got a suggestion that he's probably not working right now, or won't be shortly.
I think that's the case. You might be right.
And Garth, did you have
There's
anything?
definitely cheats for some of those games that I'm aware of. Yeah,
I'm sure there is. Did you, not to put you on the spot there, Garth, but did you have any tips or apps of the week? Because if
I was
not,
talking about a quick app called Wormel that was free. I don't know if it still is, but
yeah, it was.
Instead, I picked up It was still free. Yeah. Okay. So it's basically a peer-to-peer direct. If I want to chuck you a file without going through Dropbox or a large file, straight peer-to-peer connection, worked reasonably well. But I went shopping on the weekend and picked up a time machine, 2 terabyte time machine.
Nice.
I've never set up something so quick and easily as that thing. Just
How easy is it? It's good, isn't it?
plug it in, away you go. And then
Did you get the one that's the Wi-Fi hotspot as well?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
So I replaced that as my Wi-Fi router in the house as well.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
There's my iTunes library over onto there. So
exactly.
that's fantastic.
Look, I reckon.
Yeah.
Look,
That's a new one, Garth, the new tall one.
Yeah, the new tall one. I mean, I don't care about the AC. That's just the one they have at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you find, though, just for your normal wireless, that the signal and coverage improved from your previous one?
It was maybe 20% better, 30% better. And the current one I had was just a Telstra, stock standard off the shelf modem.
I've always found the Apple Airport devices, better than like your normal, whether it be Netgear or D-Link or whatever. Their wireless stuff's pretty good.
Yeah, so I could get coverage on my sort of in an area in the back veranda where I couldn't normally get coverage. And it was in the same location because I just had it hardwired direct to the old modem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, just to go back, Garth, because I didn't think we did that wormhole any justice, because it is. You read what it does, and it is just spectacular. It's think of everyone knows what peer-to-peer is. So this is so Garth and I are joined up with we've got the wormhole, and I can send Garth a file, and it will. You can set it so it will even open up automatically on Garth's machine. It's direct peer-to-peer. It's great. It's so like it'll give you a public link. You can use it on Twitter or on Facebook. You don't have to worry about, like, say, Dropbox. You got limits and all this sort of stuff. This is unlimited, except for what you've got your bandwidth and your internet capacity at home. So you put a link on
Facebook. So it's a direct connection, yeah.
Yep, you put a link on the Twitter and someone clicks on it, wants to download it, it's coming straight from your little box right beside your little legs. So and it's just going straight out. So obviously you don't want to put something that's viral, otherwise you chew up all your monthly internet bandwidth. But I mean, look, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I can't.
It does.
It's great.
It is good.
So
it'll automatically assign a shortcut key, which you have to be aware of. and the shortcut keys, it assigns automatically the Command Shift plus a letter. So in the Finder, for example, you can use your normal Command Shift H to jump to your home menu, Command Shift C or Command Shift D or whatever, and it'll assign another letter and with the Command Shift. So you hover over a file, hit that shortcut key, boom, that document, whatever it is flying off to the other person.
Yeah,
which is a good thing, and it's also something you've got to be aware of. Make sure you don't accidentally send somebody the wrong thing.
That's Safari links, yes. All right. So go and have a look at that. Now, we won't put you on the spot, Eric, unless you've got something, a tip or an app that you particularly like.
Got nothing. Nothing.
Okay. Next week, when we'll get you next. No, it's all right. You joined us late. You weren't to know. All right. So that's just about wraps us up. Now, we have IT Help for You. They're giving us $20 gift card, iTunes gift card. All you got to do is write a review for the Aussie Mac Zone. Now, we do have a winner. Let me scroll through here because the winner is here somewhere. And hello, Angel Spice. You are the winner. So
hello.
she's written on the iTunes Mac Zone page a review. So thanks very much. 5 stars. And she says, finally had the chance to listen to the first episode. Informative and lighthearted. Just bought my first Mac. So really pleased to be able to hear an Aussie show discussing Apple products, good or bad. Looking forward to many more episodes. Good one. Keep it up. Well, there will be many more episodes. And if you want to send us your details to feedback@aussiemaczone.com.au or glenn@aussiemaczone.com.au, either one, they'll get straight to the same place, me. Then we'll organise it and get that card out to you. So what we'll do is if you can show us a screen grab of your editing your review, do that for us so we can prove that it's actually you and not someone else that says that was me. All right, good stuff. So if you want to there's another $20 gift card this week. Jump on there and put a review up on the iTunes. Don't forget, there's also the Facebook page. And, what else is there? That's about it. Everyone, so we go around and find out where we can contact everyone. Jason, where can people contact you if they desire to?
If they desire to, they can find me on the Twitter at Jason Walmsley, Jason with a Y. For the rest of the spelling, just look at the show notes if you so desire.
Good stuff. Warlock.
You can find me on Twitter, WAULOK.
And Garth.
I'm Blindtech, IBLINDTECH on Twitter.
And Eric.
ERIKFRANCO on the Twitter.
Good stuff. And I'm at Aussie Tech Heads. And you can email all of us if you wish to also at whoever we are, at aussiemaczone.com.au. So that's about brought us to the end of the show. Thanks to the aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. They provide all the bandwidth that gets it from us to you. So thanks very much. And also to all the crew at ithelpforyou.com.au down there in Penrith. Good stuff. All right, well, that's the show for another week. Send us in your questions. If you've got a question about the Mac, the iPod, the iPad, iOS, whatever it is, send it in to us. We'll pick one out and we'll read it on the show. All right, good stuff. All right, thanks, everyone. Don't forget the show notes on the Aussie Tech Heads website. And, like us on Facebook. See you later, boys. Have a good night. See you, everyone.
Cheers, boys. See you next week.
See you all.
Good
See
stuff.
you later, guys.
Bye-bye.